Hey, grown folks, this is Donna Smith, aka Lady D, with another grown folk topic of discussion for you on the weekend. We had a discussion in my forum on Facebook during the week that it may not be exactly like this, but it was in relation to if you're dating in a situation where you're a couple and you're dating, and one of you decide that you want to start getting back into church and, turning your life around and doing right. And you had been kicking it with this person for a while, and you guys had been having sex and doing all the worldly things. And then they decide that, hey, I want you to come to my church, and, I want to start getting back into church and woo, woo, woo. Now, you're not ready to go there because you just are not ready to perpetrate. You know that, you're in your heart, you love the Lord, and you're trying to do the right thing, but you know that you're doing some things that just is not in line right about now. And this person that you've been seeing, of course, this has been their personal desire, and this is what they want to do, and so they've been pressuring you. And you're saying, no, 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 no. You just didn't, you don't feel right having a wild night of sex and doing all this stuff with them. And then next morning, Sunday, we go to church and things are supposed to be all great. You just don't feel right about that. So the argument went back and forth with you and your mate, and finally they went on to church without you. And they decided that they wanted to change their life around and try to do right, and came back home and had this long discussion and conversation with you about, hey, I can't, I love you, I want to still kick it with you, I still want to be with you, but we can't do the sex thing because I'm trying to change my life and do things differently. And I know that we've been freaking it out and it's been all good, and man, I'm kind of somewhat addicted to you and what you do and vice versa, but I just can't do this anymore. And so your jaw almost hit the ground because you're like, a what? Now you've been dealing with this person for about 3 years now, and it's been like nonstop crazy. And I mean, like every other day, and you don't even live together, but it's like every other day you finding a way to do that stuff. So, what do you do in a situation like that, grown folks? I mean, I must say, you got to give respect to the fact that they are, trying to do the right thing. I mean, you got to give respect in that regard. But to stop things in midstream after 3 years and just come and put that weight on your mate, that you need to stop doing this or get married. I didn't throw that in there. Yeah. Or get married because they just don't feel right about it, And in your mind, you ain't even thinking about marriage right now. So what do you do? Do you stop seeing somebody that you really love because they've decided to do this 190-degree turnabout and you're not ready? Or do you continue to see each other and just, respect how they feel and just see how long you can hold out, or do you leave? What would be the right thing to do? What would you do in a situation like that? Just think for a moment. Someone who you really, really have loved, or you love at this moment that you're with, and you're not married to them, but just think if this was your situation and this happened with you and yours, and you had to make that decision, although you were this very sexual person, and you both had been for 3 years, and all of a sudden the whole motion of the ocean changed, and they backed you up against the wall with either marry me or I can't do this. Think about that for a moment. And what would you do? How would you handle that? What would you tell them? What would be your first reaction? Or would you just go ahead on and start going to church with them just because and just see what it do? Wow, that's deep. Think about it and let me know what you would do if you were put up against the wall and had to make a decision to step back or to step up. What would you do, grown folks?